I want you to think about spending a Saturday afternoon with your family in the mall. As you're walking around shopping for a couple hours, you get hungry and you want to go to the food court. As you get your lunch and you sit down and you start eating with your family, you hear several large explosions and machine gun fire. As you turn to see where this machine gun fire and explosions came from, you see it's the doors that you came in to get to the food court. As you try to get what's going on from the people that are rushing by in panic, the only information you're able to obtain is that there's a terrorist outside those doors that has already taken several hostages and killed a police officer already. Now you know from the noises that the terrorist has explosive devices and machine gun. You also know that your local law enforcement doesn't have the tools to be able to handle this kind of a terrorist attack. Now I want you to pause this story right here, right now for a few minutes. Now maybe you've seen in the news where the discussion has been on whether or not we should be able to use drones on U.S. soil. Well, I'm going to tell you why we should be allowed to use drones on U.S. soil, what some of the reasons are, and why this is such a hot topic right now. First, let's get into why we should be allowed to use drones on U.S. soil. First, drones are a critical component that could be used in the protection of our United States citizens. And they really shouldn't be looked at as any different than any other weapon system we use to keep the peace in our country. Drones have been used for several years in the Middle East now to perform reconnaissance type missions and do strategic attacks on different terrorist people. Now why is this important to the United States and why this should be used on United States soil? Well, one, because drones cost a lot less money to maintain and purchase than equivalent aircraft that we use now. Also, you eliminate the pilot from the factor. This is one less person that you actually have to put into harm's way. The drone's versatility can be used for many different situations to help us keep our security of our country. So why are drones so much different and controversial compared to their bigger brothers and sisters of our jets that we fly 24 hours a day for practice in the United States and overseas countries at all times? Well, I'd like you to think about this. In a sporting event, when you're sitting in a stadium, you sing the national anthem, over your head flies several jets. Now this is a normal occurrence, but if you were to replace those jets with drones, would you get the same reaction? I don't know that you would. So now you know why I feel that drones should be allowed to be used on United States soil and what some of the reasons are. Let's get into why this topic is so hot right now. So during the CIA confirmation hearing for the director, there were several questions that went back and forth about the drones and their use to attack and kill different people. There's a lot of grumbling and fighting, and finally a question emerged from all this grumbling. The question was, could drones be used to attack targets on U.S. soil? And the answer is, well, yes, of course they could be. It only makes sense. If we have some kind of a terror activity or something, we're going to use all means possible to take and save and keep our country safe. A few days later, the wording was changed around a little bit. If you go to Reuters.com, you can see that it was then changed to, can the president use a drone to kill an American outside of an emergency type situation? And the answer is no. And very plainly so. I don't understand why this would be an issue. Even though there's been several conflicts in our government right now for the budget and different things going on, I can't see a scenario where the United States president would issue an order to use our drones to shoot down or kill innocent civilians in our country. It seems pretty obvious that this is a silly kind of a question to ask. So now that you know reasons why I feel that the U.S. should be able to use a drone in the country, and also some of the reasons why, and why this is a hot topic, I want you to go back to the story that we talked about in the beginning about the mall. So if a drone came through and took out that terrorist that was basically leaving your family in a doomed situation, would that be something that you would really be concerned about? I didn't think so.